Welcome to this Overland traveller's journey to Dirk Hartog Island off the WA coast. With its rich history dating back to Dutch explorer Dirk Hartog's landing in 1616, this island is a must-do for any adventurers. Pristine beaches, dramatic cliffs and vibrant marine life create a haven for modern explorers. Join us in uncovering the mysteries and marvels of this timeless destination. Welcome to Dirk Hartog Island. Right, so we have jumped off the barge onto Dirk Hartog Island. Really exciting. We've got to head to the lodge first, just get a bit of info, see what there is to do. But it's a big island. It's, like 80 kilometres long. So there's a lot to see, some pretty good forward driving I think, so it should be a lot of fun. We started meandering north up the island and were immediately taken by its rugged and untouched beauty. It wasn't long before we found a road to our first stop.
So we're driving up to the blowhole and you can see it off in the distance. It is blowing.
Yeah, it's a big swell today, so Kieran, the guy on the boat who took us over, he said it's going to be absolutely pumping today, which is pretty cool.
So we have arrived at the lodge and we have set up camp. So we are camped at the Homestead Bay campground. This is our spot. Beautiful beach behind us, and we're here for the next couple of nights. Then we'll venture north, do a bit of sightseeing, and then maybe stay at a camp up there. But yeah, it's pretty nice. Really unexpected. I didn't know what I was meant to expect, but this was not it. There's a bar here, so you can have coffees, and drinks in the afternoon. So yeah.
The bar is a great place to watch sunset and chat to the other travellers on the island. You can't really beat a couple of beers on tap.
Is this like where you get somewhere.
We started the next day driving north on the eastern side of the island, exploring all the points of interest along the way.
Good morning, everyone.
So we're just here at Notch Point on Dirk Hartog Island. We had a pretty slow morning this morning. It was a bit of a windy night last night, so we're a bit slow getting out of bed. But we're going for an explore today. We're just heading north up the island.
Yep.
We might get to sort of towards the end today, but we want to stay on this side of the island because it is very windy over the other side, and we want to make a camp down the other end, but on this side where it's less windy. But yeah, we're just going to explore, see what there is to see, do a bit of forward driving. This is stunning down here.
Yeah, so far we're pretty impressed.
got to the most northern point of the island and started to look around for a camp. But not before Adrian got himself in a little trouble on the beach. Alright, we're just doing a little scouting mission. We think we found a good camp off to the left. Adrian just went down to the right here just to have a little look onto the beach, but it's really, really soft. So he's just got a little stuck. So I'm going to get the max tracks out, get an ours out because they're actually easy to get out with the little side tables. So, give me a hand. How you going, Adrian?
Good, mate. Waiting on a mate.
Just waiting on a mate. We weren't in a rush to do this recovery as the water's edge wasn't anywhere near. It's lucky we had a bit of time though, as the sand was very soft and it took a few goes to spin the ute around and get it back on the track. Alright, Bertha is out. Ellen forgot to press record, no. Okay.
You had one job, Ellen. One job.
Max Tracks for the win! Honestly, Max Tracks made that so much easier. That would have been such a mission without them.
Yeah.
That'd have been shovels, PSI's down.
Like,
you're already low.
I'm low. And we would like winching is just like, turning it around. It's much easier with these.
Max Tracks do make this kind of stuff a lot easier.
And that's a hella soft.
That's really soft sand.
So after we got Adrian out, we were looking for camp and couldn't really find anything that was overly sheltered, so we've continued on. We've just come to Cape Inscription, which has the lighthouse that they built here in the 1900s. It's really cool. They've also restored the old, I'm assuming like homesteady type building back in 2012, I think it was. So yeah, a lot of history here, which is really cool, worth seeing. But now we're going to try and find somewhere protective to camp. Good afternoon everyone, welcome to camp. So we are on the western side of the island tonight at Western Point. We initially were going to try and camp on the east side, though we couldn't really find anything that was overly protected, so we've ended up here. It's quite a beautiful spot. We are at the block, which is, you could probably guess by the massive rock behind me. I think that's why they call it the block. But yeah, we're going to have a pretty relaxing afternoon. Adrian is fishing, Matt and Ellen are down with him at the moment. We've seen heaps of whales cruise past, which is pretty cool to see. We've even seen a manta ray today and some dolphins, so it's been a day full of wildlife. And yeah, it's been really fun exploring. So yeah, tomorrow we'll finish off doing the west coast. We may head back to the east coast to camp for the night, but we'll just kind of see what we discover tomorrow.
Alright, so we've just come for a drive down to Mystery Beach this morning, so we're following the west coast south. Now there is another track, it's a bit more of a four-wheel drive track apparently. It's a recent sort of track I think, because it's not really listed on maps. So we're really keen to do that one back, and it will lead us back over to the east side of the island. Yeah, we're going to see what it's like and probably head back over east for a camp this afternoon. This beach, because it's on the west coast facing the Indian Ocean, and it's really washing up, there's just so much stuff on this beach, just like, you know, rubbish, just random stuff. So we're just having a little look around. It's just sort of interesting seeing what sort of floats up. This track is definitely the best four-wheel driving on the island with a few dunes. Besides that, the coastline was absolutely spectacular.
Look at this. We're on the west coast of Dirk Hartog Island. We got told about this little track from Mystery Beach, which cuts along the west coast and loops back in, and so far it is beautiful. Big dunes, watching dolphins and whales. Oh, beautiful.
We made our way back to the east, more protected side of the island, and made camp right on the water.
Morning everyone. So we've had a pretty relaxing morning this morning. We watched sunrise from the tent, which was really cool, and then got up, had a leisurely breakfast, and now we've just spent a few hours on the beach. There was so much washed up coral, which was really cool to like walk around and see. Now we're just going for a bit of a drive. We're just heading back to the Homestead today. We've got another night booked in there to camp, so we're doing that, but we've just found this track off the main track. It's not listed on HEMA. I thought we'd just come and have a look. So far it's pretty cool. You get a really epic view up here. I'll show you.
From our vantage point, we could see a large school of salmon. Adrian just had to wet the line to see if he could catch us some dinner. While he was fishing, it was fantastic to watch some ospreys hunt fish and chase other birds. don't believe it. And finally, Adrian's persistence has paid off. We headed back to camp, got the fire going and got the fish ready. So, as you should know by now, Adrian is a winemaker and he owns a winery in Tumbarumba, Cool Climate Wines.
Yeah, Cool Climate.
So you make some fantastic white wines, and we've got some fish tonight, and we're doing really fresh, sort of whole fish cooked in foil, and it's going to be lemony, dill, garlic, onion, cherry tomatoes. So what are you gonna pull out tonight for us, mate?
We've got this Albarino that we've been carrying around, and we've saved it for this moment right now. Fresh
It's Ellen's
fish.
favourite, isn't it?
It's absolutely Ellen's favourite. It's a Spanish grape variety. It'll pair beautiful with those flavours.
Well, yes, we have had it quite a few times, Holly and I, and it is very, very nice. So I'm excited to enjoy that. We do have a code for Obsession Wines, and we really want to get Adrian a couple of sales.
I need diesel.
Going out and fixing all our stuff in our car. It doesn't come cheap for Adrian. Go and buy a couple of bottles. I really want to. He makes some awesome stuff. I'm not just saying that. It's bloody good wine. Give it a go. obsessionwines.com.au.
Yep.
Jump on. And what's our code?
OLT 15.
Holly knows. OLT 15. That's 15%. It's actually good.
15%. Yeah.
Get on it. We're going to try it tonight. Tell you how it
You're
goes.
missing out. So don't miss out.
Salt.
Dirk Hartog.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Hey, good day. Good morning, everyone. We are back in the cars this morning and we are heading to Surf Point. This is a sanctuary zone, so no fishing, but apparently it's a spot I'm assuming you can surf there, hence the name Surf Point, but also apparently there's sharks. You can see some sharks, so hopefully we'll get to see some.
We kept heading south to see the last few points of interest on the island, and after went to the point where you catch the ferry back to the mainland. Alrighty, g'day everyone. We're just down at the beach here where the barge is going to take us off the island tomorrow. So this is our last night on the island. Yeah, we thought we'd just do a little bit of a wrap up of our past couple of days on the island, our thoughts on it, and maybe a few things to know if you want to come over yourself. I don't know, what do we start with?
It's great.
It's pretty good. Dirk Hartog is a pretty obvious destination if you're a keen fisherman. Pretty untouched marine environment.
And surrounded by water, only really one place that land-based you can't fish off the shore, one sanctuary area on the boats, but everything else on the mainland, from the island mainland, you can fish from.
And then as far as four driving goes, this wasn't any particularly hard four driving. A couple of little dunes we did the other day over on the west side.
To get to a point, yeah, the blowholes.
To get to a point. Not if you want to come over here specifically for four driving, there's not that many challenging tracks, but there are some really spectacular drives.
Oh.
There's sort of two sides of the island, I'd say, because it's quite a long, thin island. You've got the east side and the west side. East side is the more driven side, probably with more sheltered camps on it. Because
calmer water.
Calmer water.
Yep.
And that road is quite driven and quite corrugated.
Yeah.
And
Actually
then
quite rough.
Yeah, pretty rough. And then over the west side, you've got the open sea and it's more exposed, but you've got some really spectacular camps, but probably my favourite drive, well definitely my favourite drive, and I think everyone will agree with that. We did a drive from Mystery Beach down to
the inland track, I think it was Charlie's Harbour.
Yeah.
That will then go to Sandy Point.
So
we'll put a map up
now.
now.
It meets up with the inland track that will then head back to Sandy Point.
And we should say that track is not on a map.
It was a really spectacular drive. One of those sort of, I don't know, marquee drives to me where, I don't know, you're kind of amazed that you can even do it really. You're sort of cruising along these roads, you get these spectacular cliffs, have whales jumping out and spotting them, and just, really dramatic scenery. And it was just a really cool drive to do. You really feel like, you're at the edge of, you're at the edge of where you can drive in Australia, which is really pretty cool.
The most west point you can drive in Australia.
Yeah, so that is definitely worth doing. I'd definitely recommend doing that track. Besides that, there isn't too much driving to do on the island. It is quite long, but if you're here for a couple of days, you're going to be taking it quite slow.
Yeah.
We ended up doing 284 kilometres on the island, just on the island. And we went down every...
Yeah, 4 days?
5.
5 days.
So we went down pretty much every track that we could go down.
That we could find.
Then,
There's
it wasn't private property.
There is a couple of private, so
And a lot
see
of
the
dead
signs,
ends.
don't go.
Yeah, a lot of dead ends. We did do quite a few tracks like, let's see where this is, and you come to a dead end.
Oh, look, it's a stunning location. The lodge is good as well. And they've got some good facilities there, better than what we thought. They've got a nice bar there if you're keen to sit down at the bar, have some beers.
On tap.
Yeah, on tap. You have a coffee.
Coffee was good too.
Yeah,
Showers,
coffee was good.
camp kitchen. You can actually have fires at the camp at the Homestead. A lot of people think, so there's the private area, which is the camp Homestead, and then the national park. You can't have fires in the national park, but you can at the Homestead.
Yeah, because the whole island was privately owned, and the family that have the freehold section have had it for something like 60 years or something like that. So it was only national park in 2009, so that's why that freehold section you can have fires and you can't have them in any of the camps in the national park. So
To get over, you obviously do have to get the barge over. I will put the price of the barge down below. I'm just trying to remember what it was. There it is.
And then camping is an additional cost on top.
Yep, $30 a night.
Yeah.
So if you want to stay at the lodge, and then there's the national park camping, which is different, but just Google it.
yeah,
That's the best thing to do to see current prices and everything. Is just Google it.
yeah.
Book in advance because we're here in school holidays and it is busy. There is a limited amount of cars allowed on the island at any one time. So it's good in that sense that it's never going to get too busy. It was about as busy as it's going to get, but it still wasn't too bad. We managed to find camps ourselves.
Yeah.
We managed to explore and sort of get out and about a bit.
Yeah,
so
and school holidays.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And
So-
then probably the only one little thing is everything you bring in, you take out. So if you're going to be here for a week or 2 weeks, you're going to have to take that much rubbish out with you. And you're going to have to obviously pack a lot more diesel if you're going to be doing some fishing rather than just once you've toured the island.
Yeah. And probably another thing to note is just make sure you're well provisioned for the island. Water, fuel, food, spares, things like that. So today we saw a bloke, he had a brand new 300 GR Sport, really nice flash car. I don't think he let his pressures down or anything. He got 2 flats in one go and he could only put one on, and then he had to borrow a different size rim and tyre from a Hilux. So it's not flash the diff and things like that. So, and he's just
Now
wondering.
he's getting tyres boated over from denim.
Yeah,
So that would be an expensive exercise. So just come prepared.
Yeah, and then obviously getting those kind of things to Denham, it's not a huge town, so you are quite remote really out here.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're well provisioned. That's probably another thing I'd
And
say.
we were 19.8 litres per 100 average with cruising around.
Yeah. We had about 260 litres of diesel. We're still just on our sub tank, but by the time we drive to the roadhouse, we would have used quite a bit of fuel. I reckon probably around the 200 litre mark.
Yeah, we've just flicked over. We just flicked over just up there.
Yep.
Off our standard 130. So there's still 30 litres basically left in here. Fuel lights just come on.
So 100 litres.
About 100
So
litres or
all in all, fantastic time. It's definitely a bit of a bucket list item for me. I've always been curious to explore it, and now we have, and really enjoyed it. And definitely worth doing if you're coming out to Steep Point. You got to get over here because
Yeah.
you get to Steep Point, it's the most westerly point of mainland Australia, and you
And
just
then
see
you
this
see an
bit of
island.
land straight there. So
And where we are actually looking out at Steep Point right now.
Yeah.
So there's people there going, oh, I wish I was over here.
yeah, exactly. So it's worth coming along. And thanks for watching. We'll hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. What do we say?
Bye for now.
Cheers. We hope you enjoyed this epic adventure to Dirk Hartog Island as much as we did. We'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.